appear that just about everybody is here who is going to be here. No. All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Otaku 25 and Older, the third. Thank you so much to all of you anime fans 25 and older who have taken time out of your convention experience to come join us. I am Anime Man 73, the creator of this panel. Alongside me, I have Washibu Otaku, Agent of the Divine One.
Yo.
And David K, who is filling in for Dr. Dave, who is absent due to family issues, which is cool because family goes first. All right, we're all here because we've got one reason. We are anime fans. We'll make that two reasons. We are all anime fans, and we are 25 and older. Yes, 25 and older, as in we've just about reached that point in our lives where our brains are telling us that it's not a good idea to put our rears over our heads. Now, if you'll get us started off with question one.
Well, unofficially for me, I've been watching anime since I was about the age of 40. I was one of those kids that was, I guess you'd say, sheltered. I grew up watching TVN, the Trinity Broadcasting Network, for my Saturday morning cartoons when my mom was around. And there was two cartoons that they actually had that were actually anime that was made in the 70s that were intended to teach the gospel to the kids over in Japan. They did do so over there, did pretty big over in the Christian section here in the States. So TVN has, in fact, actually redid Super Bowl like 4 years ago, computer graphics and stuff. It really sucks. As for officially being an otaku, when I was 17 years old, there was a Hollywood video that opened up in my hometown. As soon as I turned 18, I signed for a membership and had to be an adult. And the very first thing that I rented was something in the special interest section. It was an anime called Lucy. It looked interesting. The story descriptions they had in the back there, I was like, holy crap, this sounds amazing. Wait, what's rating on this now?
SC13.
That's 13.
But it sounded really interesting. As I watched it, I'm like, I'm learning so much more about Japan from this than any Godzilla movie I've ever seen. So over the years, I started watching more. I found that there's a Suncoast at my local mall, which is gone now. I buy anime. They're just random because they look interesting, they sound interesting, they have boobs, whatever seems interesting at the time. And I've kind of become into anime in general ever since.
Okay, my story is trifling unique. I actually got introduced to anime years ago when, in my home city of Portland, Oregon, I was introduced to anime through Showtime and through Robotech, which was then on KPTV Channel 12. And from there I moved on to Voltron, and then in the days when the Sci-Fi Channel was actually that, and actually fairly good, they actually had Adventures in Japanese Animation, which had Lensman, Robot Carnival, and Vampire Hunter D. I took a look at those, and well, that and Toonami really started me down the path towards becoming an anime fan. I really enjoyed the characters, the storylines, and just how it just blew me away. Since then, I've dreamed of having my own science fiction and fantasy works turned into anime.
Alright, for me, I suppose you could call me a bit of a late bloomer because growing up, I've seen a couple here and there, like Sailor Moon, Transformers, stuff that's really big. If you ask anybody in this room and everybody on the floors up and down the entire building, they know it, but never really got into it until I think it was the spring of 2008 where my aunt said, hey, we're going to this thing called Sakuracon. You want to come? Sure, I got time. I came here, I loved it, and I have never looked back.
So, personally, I didn't really get into anime until I entered college. I had seen a little bit before then. I've always been kind of geeky and interested in random stuff, but, you know, I didn't have cable growing up, so my options were limited. And pretty much my entire repertoire was like the original Ghost of the Shell movie and Akira, both of which I rented just randomly at the video store someday. I thought it was interesting, but that was the extent of my fandom. But after I entered college, I started taking a Japanese course just because there was a language requirement, and I thought, hey, that's something different. I'd taken German in high school and hated it. So there I got introduced to people in the anime club there, which was a very well-established old club that had a large membership, and they really, I started getting involved in the club and learning all these interesting series I'd never heard of before. And I had a lot of instruction from the seniors in the club who've been around the block for many years, and you know, they knew exactly what shows to kind of show people to get them interested in things, and you know, over my 4 years of college life, I was transformed from an ordinary person into an otaku.
All right. I had planned to have a wireless microphone, but unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond my control, that is not going to happen. So, I guess we'll just have to take little questions and comments from the audience the old-fashioned way. So, let's look for random audience members who can talk about their anime experience. Well, Shugo, since you got better eyes than I do, why don't you point out something?
This guy over there in blue. I did this the old-fashioned way.
Just as a heads up to everyone, I'm not going to be here for the whole panel because I've got another one to go to. Scheduling conflict, that's mostly my fault.
Oh no, that's kind of bad. No. So what can I say about myself? I guess I'm answering the same question you guys did, right? About how I got into anime and stuff like that. It's kind of a long story, and I'll start it by saying that I'm from Canada. So I may have come into anime maybe a little bit differently than some of you. How many people, well, actually there was only one person who actually reacted to Canada. So do you remember when Teletoon used to play anime movies at midnight?
Yes.
I was maybe in my early teens, and I remember staying up and trying to watch anime movies. They had Galaxy Express 39, they had Patlabor, Rings of Neheimiah. I slept through a couple of them, but I still really appreciated all of the detail that went into the animation, and I think that was sort of the spark. But it didn't actually get sort of fanned into a flame until a little bit later. So I really got into Japanese video games. I started importing stuff. And I wanted to collect music because I really got into like the soundtracks from RPGs. So I started up, oh my god, I can't even believe I'm going to say this, an FTP server for people to upload music to. And somebody uploaded the soundtracks from Neon Genesis Evangelion. And that was when that little spark that had started from me sleeping through the end of Galaxy Express 39 had been turned into a much bigger roaring flame. From there, I started collecting all sorts of stuff. Of course, Evangelion was the start. I had a bunch of it on VHS, and now I have it on DVD. You know, Ranma 1/2, and I kept on with it through the era into DVDs, into digital fan subs. I have fond memories of Love Hina and Love Hina Again, back when DivX was starting to get popular. God, I could just name all sorts of stuff and see what reaction I could get out of the audience, but that would be boring. So I'm just going to move on. And then when I got into, I think it was high school, I couldn't take Japanese courses, but I still wanted to try and learn the language. So I started trying to teach myself, and then when I got into university, I was finally able to take courses, and I am shocked and amazed that to this day I still am an anime fan and an otaku. It's ridiculous how many years it has been. I think that's all I should say.
Awesome. You get you. Dude in the back with
I almost did this. I guess I got into anime way before any of you guys did, actually. I got into anime when I was about yay big, and my parents took me to the little video corner at the grocery store, and they were taking me to the kids section, and they said, pick something out. I was looking around, and I looked at the shelf, and I saw the anime version of Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland. I picked it out, took it home, watched it, got cracked. But I don't know how many times I had my parents rent that movie for me. It was just awesome in my mind. From that point, I grew up watching, I don't know if anyone else has heard this besides me, Sherlock Holmes and the Hounds of Baskerville. From that point, I graduated onto DVD, Sailor Moon, what else was on Cartoon Network at the time. I started watching Blue Seed when it was on Wham and the Action Channel.
Nice.
I took Japanese my freshman year of high school, and during that time, my teacher aired for us the unsubtitled versions of Princess Mononoke and the first 2 episodes of Evangelion. I did not pursue Japanese after that, as far as taking the language, but my love of anime stayed, and it wasn't until my first year of college that I found out about Sakuracon, and I've been coming ever since. This guy's comment over here actually reminded me that Evangelion was the very first box that they ever actually purchased and owned. So that was kind of a thing for me. But I love it. It's an amazing place. It's an amazing world to be in. And the fans are great. The costumes are great. And it's just always been a lot of fun.
Wonderful.